So day 4, y'all. First of all, I slept well again. Slept in this beautiful, I don't want to call it a valley. I mean, it was a lower spot than where we had come from and where we were going to, and it was green and it was beautiful. So yeah, I guess for the sake of the story, I'll call it a little bit of a valley. We woke up the next morning and my guide comes to me and he was like, okay, so today we're gonna be like monkeys. And I was like, what? And he points to what looked like a wall, a mountain wall. And he was like, we're gonna go up that. And I was like, how? And he said, we're gonna go and it's gonna be hand over hand over hand and foot and foot. It's literally almost a vertical wall that you have to climb up. And he pointed to it and he said, look, you see people have already started. Do you see them? And he's pointing to people that I cannot see because this wall is so huge and the people were so small. And finally I saw somebody's yellow jacket and I was like, oh, I see a yellow jacket. He was like, that's what we're gonna do. I said, okay. Good morning. It is day 4. It is cold. It's like 7, a little after 7, I think. And that is the summit. That's where we're going. Oh my gosh. It's cold. So we're going up the side of the rock. You probably can't see. I can hardly see. There's a trail. There's a trail. And we're going to go up the trail. But it's hard to see the trail from here. But there is a trail. My guide, Frederick, says that we'll be like monkeys today, climbing over rocks. So that should be fun. This is the camp. It's a nice clear day this morning, which I'm thankful for because we've had a lot of cloudy, overcast days and the mountain likes to play peekaboo. But today we have a clear day. We can see all around. That's my tent. And that's where we're going. Not today, tomorrow. I'm so excited. Good morning, day 4. So we start out of the camp in the morning. It's pretty cool at this point. I was wearing like my undershirt and a hoodie and a hat. So we start off the hike to first get to the wall. And then we get there and I look and I'm like, oh, this is about to get real. Now, mind you, when I told people that I was gonna climb Mount Kilimanjaro, so many people thought that I was gonna be doing like like scaling a wall, like El Capitan or something like that. And I had to explain. I was like, no, it's just a hike. It's not like, I'm not like literally rock climbing and pulling myself up a wall. But day 4 was that. Day 4 was that. And there was a moment, and I'm going to show you the picture. There was a moment where I was terrified. And the reason I was terrified was because I'm on this wall, right? Like this, holding on to the rocks for dear life. And I look behind me and the drop is almost completely vertical. And I was like, Jesus, what is happening? And this was a part, this really warmed my heart about the mountain because people are really helping. You know, you're on the mountain with your guide and people who might be in your group, but there are other groups on the mountain. And this was a moment where so many people were helping each other. Other climbers were helping each other. The porters from other groups were like, give me your hand. Okay, put your foot here. Now put your other leg there. Now, and they were like hoisting me up. Like it was just, when I think about it now, I laugh, but there is a picture my guide took of me and I was terrified. There's this part of the wall and it's called the Barranco Wall. And there's this part of it where they call it the kissing rock. And my guide told me that and I was like, why is it called the kissing rock? And when I got to the other side of that rock, I understood why. Because you want to kiss whoever is there when you get to the other side of that thing, because I was terrified. I was like, this is not the way I go. This is not the way I go. But it was amazing. I felt so accomplished. Climbing the wall, literally hand over hand, foot over there, other foot over here, pulling myself up, them pulling me up, hoisting me up. Like it was something else. So we finally get to the top of that and we rest because you feel accomplished, but you're also tired. This view is amazing. We started from all the way there. People are climbing, climbing, climbing.
What's quickly? Haraka, haraka.
Haraka, haraka. You see that cable? That's supposedly a Wi-Fi cable. There's no Wi-Fi, but I've seen that cable. It goes all the way up the mountain. I think it's for them to communicate from campsite to campsite. There's no Wi-Fi. No. So we made it to the top of that crazy climb, but now we don't have any sun. But everybody's relaxing. It's that way, but you can't see it. But that was an amazing morning workout. And now we continue down the path to our camp for the day. I took a picture where I'm like jumping, and my guide was like, on a clear day it would be beautiful because you would be able to see where you came from, and you know, on the other side you would be able to see the mountain, but on that day it was very hazy. But we still took pictures. It was amazing. So from there we go to Karanga camp, and you know, I go into my tent, I relax, I rest, and then the porters and the guides, they have this thing that they do, like this kind of ceremony where they sing this song. I think the song is called Hakuna Matata, but it's not the Hakuna Matata from The Lion King. So if you don't know, Hakuna Matata is actually a Swahili phrase. So a lot of the stuff you hear in the Lion King is Swahili. That's one of the languages in The Lion King. And so Hakuna Matata is actually a phrase that Swahili people use, and it literally means no worries. That's what it says in the movie, and that's what it means. It means no worries. So they sing this song, and it's just fun, and everybody sings along, and I loved it. I just loved it. I had a really great group of guys for porters. So they sing the song to me. We have like our official like time to chat and talk, because up until then we've just been hiking and, you know, climbing, and there's noise in the background, of course. So we sing the Hakuna Matata song, and we dance around, and we have a good time, and then we rest. We rest again, because the next day is the day before summit day, which is I'm looking at my notes, which is day 5 into day 6. We're going down from where we started up. It's beautiful. So this water that you hear all flows down into the main town. It's the Karanga River. So it's all fresh, clean water. Anybody can drink it. It's nice and clean and clear. And this is the mountain. So day 5 into day 6 was not a game. This is where it got for real, okay? Like for real. We climbing a mountain for real. So day 5 woke up. We had a really short hike to Barafu Hut, which is where we were gonna stay until we hiked to the summit, which was like the end of day 5 into day 6. Good morning, it's day 5. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning, and we're about to start our hike for today. Today's gonna be a short day. I think he said about a 4-hour hike up the mountain. I think we kind of start that way and we kind of work our way up. Yeah, every time I look at it, I'm like, how in the world are we gonna get all the way up there? But we're gonna do a 4-hour hike to our resting point, to our stopping point, where we'll stay and rest, have lunch, and then we'll sleep early because we start the hike to the summit at midnight. Midnight. So we're basically, tonight, we'll hike in the dark for about 6 to 8 hours to get to the summit. So yeah, it's day 5. I feel really good. Yesterday my knee was hurting a little bit. We were doing a lot of down, like over rocks and boulders and stuff. But I feel good now. I'm trying to show you that peak right there is Mount Meru. That is the second highest peak in Tanzania. My guide said if you want to go to the top of there, that's like a 3 to 4 day hike to get to the top. It's not nearly as tall as Kilimanjaro. That's my lovely tent, and that's my crew over there. And yeah, this is our camp. So everybody's getting ready to go for the day. All the porters and everybody. Day 5. Day 5. So amazing. All right, we're making our way. We're gonna go all the way up there. Not sure if you can see. That's where we're going. That's our base camp for the summit. And the summit is over there. Pole pole. Slowly, slowly. Making our way. So we made it to Barafu Hut. This is our base camp for the summit. As you can see, there are a lot of people here. There are even more people on the other side of the hill. And they will be preparing to summit as well. So we will rest, have lunch, sleep, have dinner, sleep again. And then at midnight, we will prepare to summit Mount Kilimanjaro. It'll be 6 to 8 hours up to the top. Ooh, day 5, almost there. Okay, guys, so we will begin the hike to the summit at 11:30. It is almost 7:30. So what I have done is I have put on all my base layers, and then I'll sleep for like 3 hours, and then wake up at 10:30, put on 2 more layers, and then leave by 11:30. I've been napping throughout the day, so hopefully between the naps and the nap that I'm about to take, I'll be rested. I think I'll be fine. But right now I have on the top, I have a thermal layer. That's for my thumbs, but I don't think I'm gonna use that little thumb hole thing. That's not comfortable. But I have on a thermal layer. Have on 2 more layers. Then I have my hoodie. On the bottom, I have the bottom thermal layers matching. And I have on regular hiking pants. And I will put on a pair of really thick hiking pants that have a thermal layer inside and a windbreaker layer on the outside. And then I'll put on a windbreaker jacket and then a puffy jacket over that. And then I have a beanie. Can you see? Beanie. I have another thing called a balaclava that will keep my head and my mouth warm. I have this muff to keep my mouth warm. I have 2 pair of gloves. So yeah, I just ate some dinner gonna brush my teeth, and I'm gonna lay down. And then in 3 hours, I'm gonna wake up, and we're gonna go to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro. It's cold. It's gonna be cold. So that's part of the package. Good night. I had on so many clothes, but it was that cold. Like, you needed all the clothes. And when I was shopping and preparing, that was one of my concerns. Is like, am I going to be warm enough when it gets really, really cold? I knew that if it was hot, I could just strip off layers. But there's nothing worse than being cold and not having anything else to put on. So thankfully, with all my layers, I was warm. Anybody who knows me knows me and cold, we don't go together like that. So I don't want anything to do with cold. So I put on all my layers, put on my headlamp because it's 11:30 at night. It's pitch black outside. All we have is the moon and the stars. And thankfully, it was a clear night. We had the moon and the stars, and darkness all around. We're on our way. All you see is my light. That's fine. We're going to the top. Okay, well, all the lights down there. That's people starting now. But we started already. And we're going up the mountain. Whew. Pull it. All the way up. Okay. You see the moon. Yes. All right. Pull it. So the summit. We started at 11:30. There were several groups in the camp area, and everybody kind of decides, when they're going to start. Most people would generally start at midnight, and we decided to start at 11:30 to try to get a jump on all the groups going up at the same time. So for the first couple of hours, I'm doing all right. The altitude is increasing. It's getting colder. I have a slight headache. Other than that, I was fine. I didn't feel nauseous. I didn't feel like I was going to vomit. I didn't feel like I wanted to go to sleep, anything like that. First couple of hours, that was good. But then, y'all, it just hit me. I hit a wall. I hit a wall, and I felt like I don't know if I'm going to make it. That's literally how I felt. And I'm a person who, I like to push through. I like to, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm doing it. If I say it out loud, I'm doing it. And I'm like, we've come all of this way. There's absolutely no way I'm going to turn around and go back down this mountain. But I literally felt like I was not going to make it. And my guide, he was so encouraging, and he was doing whatever to like keep me going. They were singing songs and, just encouraging me and pushing me. And I felt at one point, I literally stopped and I just burst into tears because I was like, I feel like I'm not going to make it. And I felt so discouraged too, because I knew that I was moving really, really slowly. I was pushing myself, but I couldn't push myself anymore. So I knew I was moving slow. And also, I saw that all the people who had started after us, all the groups that had started after us at this point were passing us because I was just moving so slow, you know. Thankfully, again, my guide was amazing. He gave me a hug. He was like, come on, cry it out. And I was like, I feel so discouraged. I feel like I'm not going to make it. And he was like, hey, no. He said, first of all, it's not a race. You don't need to compare yourself to other people. This is not a race. All you got to do is put one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other. And really, when you get to that point, that's all you can think about is you are literally thinking about pick up the foot, put it down. Pick up the foot, put it down. That is the thought that was going through my mind. Just pick up your foot again. Just pick up your foot again. Just pick up your foot again. I was done. I had nothing. I had nothing. So it was slow going. It was slow going. And a really an amazing thing is that there's so many people on the trail with you, and people are so encouraging, like everybody, nobody's running up the mountain. There were some people who were moving pretty quickly, but there were also people who did this for fun. Like, they're like, yeah, we did Everest, we did Kilimanjaro 2 years ago, we decided to do it again, we did this mountain, we did that mountain. So there were people who were like legit mountain climbers. Here I am, and I'm like, I'm gonna climb Mount Kilimanjaro. Never having climbed a mountain before in my life. And it was not fair for me to be comparing myself to these other people, but I was. I felt discouraged. But there were people, everybody on the trail is so encouraging. All the porters, so encouraging. Everybody is wanting to see everybody make it. And that was such a beautiful thing, because people you don't know at all are like, come on, you got this. Just keep going. You can do it. You can do it. Every time you would pass someone or someone would pass you, that's what it was. Pole, pole. That was the thing that they kept saying. Pole, pole. Slowly, slowly. Hakuna Matata. Like, everybody was just, that was the vibe on the mountain. So we keep going. We keep going. We keep going. And this is hours and hours and hours. We started at 11:30 p.m. Finally, the sun starts to come up. We start to see first light, which was like maybe 6:30, I think. We're still going up the mountain. But that gave me a boost, because you start to see the sun come up. There is another mountain not too far away from Kilimanjaro that's called Mawenzi. And so we saw Mawenzi Peak, which is a very jagged kind of peak. And we saw it we're going up the mountain this way, and Mawenzi was behind us here. And you look out and you just see so far down the mountain. Obviously, you can't see all the way down the mountain, but you can see so far down the mountain. And you see the clouds, and it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. And so seeing the sun start to come up really gave me a boost. But we still had a ways to go. My legs were tired, had a headache, just exhausted, literally breathing like just slow. The air is so thin that all you're thinking about is your breath and the next step. That's it. That's all you're thinking about. So finally, after maybe like 2 more hours, we get to Stella Point. Now, from Stella Point, you still have a gradual ascent to Uhuru Peak, but it is gradual. It's not like crazy steep where you feel like you're going straight up. It is truly gradual. So it's even if you're exhausted, it's still doable. And at this point, you see so many people who have made it now. People are coming back the other way, and they're like, you're almost there. And it's just an amazing energy that's on the mountain. So we keep going. We get to Stella Point. We actually stopped to eat some snacks, because when I tell y'all I was done, I was done. And my guide, they have been getting on me because I hadn't been eating enough, but I found that the food, and I'll talk about the food later, but the food was so abundant that I felt like there were days where I was like, I can't, this is too much food. I can't finish it. But they were like, you got to eat. If you want to get up the mountain, you got to eat. My waiter would always say, if you want to kill Killy, you have to eat. If you want to kill Killy, you have to eat. So like, I was famished. I was drinking juice boxes and eating, all kinds of little snacks, biscuits, and all kinds of things. And that was another thing, is they wanted you to like consume sugar, because that would give you the boost of energy that you needed. So we stopped at Stella Point, had a little snack, had a little juice, and then continued to go forward. These are my heroes. These are my heroes.
We made it!
Carried me up the mountain. At this point, you can see in the distance the sign that says Uhuru Peak. You can't see what it says, but you know that that's what it is, and you can see people coming back from it, right? So then it's exciting because you're like, oh, we really are almost there. I can actually see the finish line. So finally, we get to Uhuru Peak, and when I tell y'all, I had the biggest burst of energy. I was like, where was all this energy on hour 5 when I felt like I couldn't make it? But just getting there was, it's hard to explain the feeling because you spend so much time preparing, thinking about it, watching other people's videos about it, looking at people's pictures, and to now be standing in this moment where it's no longer someone else, it's now you. You're no longer looking at someone else's video. You're taking your own video. You're no longer looking at somebody else's picture. You're taking your own pictures. It's surreal. It is surreal to be standing in the midst of something that you have been wanting and dreaming for a long time. It is truly surreal. So we get there, we take pictures. I'm ecstatic, celebrating, all smiles, got energy to dance around. Again, where was this energy at hour 5? And all of the people, all of the other porters and all of the other hikers are celebrating. Everybody's just celebrating one another because you realize you made it to the top of a whole mountain. You made it to the top of an entire mountain. They call Mount Kilimanjaro, Uhuru Peak, they call it the roof of Africa because it is the highest point on the continent of Africa. Mount Kilimanjaro is the highest freestanding mountain in the world. And I think I read somewhere that like only 1% of people will ever go there, will ever make it to the top. And sometimes people don't make it to the top, but only 1% will make it to the top. And I'm like, okay, I'm part of the 1% now. So it's just really a celebratory time. It's a celebratory time.
Amen. Dada Simba. Hakuna story tena.
I made it to the top of Kilimanjaro, and I could not have done it without this one right here and this one right here. Oh my gosh, they carried me. They carried me. Oh my gosh. What an amazingly beautiful place. Look at this. Look at the glacier. Oh my gosh, look at that. It's beautiful.
Can I take one photo of you there?
Yes, you can.
Definitely.
Hello.
Very narrow. People like you.
You want to take selfie with you.
It's hard to even imagine that you are on the inside of this moment, but you are on the inside of this moment. So you don't really spend a lot of time at the top. Nobody sleeps up there. Nobody camps up there. You get to the top and then you immediately start right back down. So at this point, where are we? Day 5.5, day 6. So we start back down. Now, something I forgot to tell you is that on day, I think it was day 4, day 3 or day 4, I think it was day 3, we were going through an area that was really, there were a lot of streams and it was very damp. And I slipped on a rock and I kind of lost my footing and I fell. And I was fine, but the next day I started feeling it in my knee. And so going down was actually really, really difficult because just the way my knee had to bend in order to go down, it just hurt. So going down was hard because I had to go really, really slow. And that's something I forgot to say about day 3 is that it was hard because I fell and We were in a really beautiful area. Again, there goes the beauty. With these amazing trees that had cotton in them and like streams and all of these things. And I just lost my footing and I fell. And so going down the next day became difficult. And that's when I actually first started using my poles to help me. And they really did help me. But anyway, we're at the top, take the pictures, do all of the things, and we start going down the mountain. And I'm moving slow because my knee is still hurting and I had to put a brace on it. But so we get to the place where we had slept the day before. And we stop, we rest, we have a little lunch, and then we are going down past, I think we passed one camp to get to the next camp where we would sleep. And at that point, we are gonna sleep in the jungle zone again. So my guide was like, we can sleep here at this higher place, or we can skip this camp and go to the next camp and sleep at a lower place. And your sleep will be wonderful because it's lower. The altitude is more normal. The temperature is warmer. You know, everything is just calming down, you know, because you're lower in altitude. So I decided that we would do that, but it was slow going because again, my knee, and then the area where we had to hike down, there were a lot of rocks and things. And so I just had to take it really slow. And it took us a really long time to get to the next spot. But I was happy that we made it because it was warmer. It was a little bit more humidity. That's another thing about the Arctic zone. It's like, it's dry and cold and my nose suffered. I was constantly putting on lip balm. Like everything was just dry and cold. So when we got down to the lower area, it took all day to get there, but we finally made it. It was dark by the time we got there. But I slept so well that night. I slept so well. Oh, the most beautiful sleep ever. The most beautiful sleep ever. The next morning, woke up feeling fresh, feeling free, feeling good, feeling positive. Good morning. It's day 7. We made it. It's morning. As you can tell by my puffy face. It's the last day. We have one final hike to get back down to the base of the mountain. Whew. I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful. I can't believe I did this. This is crazy. I've wanted to do this for so long. It's been in my mind for so long. And the fact that it's finally happening, or finally happened, is amazing. So I'm having breakfast, some porridge and some fruit, some pineapple and watermelon, and egg and toast and crepe. They always give me so much food. I'm gonna finish as much of it as I can. And then we're gonna do like a tipping ceremony and some singing. And we're gonna head on back down to the base of the mountain. Day 7.
Hakuna Matata.
Hakuna
Matata.
But yeah, it was just a great day. Like it wasn't super long. It was maybe a few hours. And again, I was moving slow because my knee was hurting a little bit, and we were going down in altitude. We were going down in altitude, and also like a gradual downgrade in the ground. So it was a little difficult at first, but then once we got to a really flat area, with like a wide road, a flat area, beautiful trees once again, you know, like a beautiful bridge over a stream, and like these amazing huge trees with beautiful greenery and ferns that were so big, and vegetation and flowers and little fruit and birds and monkeys and all kinds of things. It was just amazing. And then we finally made it to our final spot. We made it to the final gate. I'm at the end. I'm at the end of my 7-day trek up Kilimanjaro to Uhuru Peak. I made it to the top where it was freezing cold and there were glaciers and snow. And now I'm almost back at the bottom, walking through the jungle. This has been amazing. A beautiful challenge, and I have enjoyed it. And I'm so thankful. I made it. And as you're getting to the final gate, you're like, oh my gosh, it's over. Like, I almost wanted to cry. I want to cry now. But you realize, wow, I did that. I climbed a whole mountain and I came down the other side, and man, I felt so accomplished. I felt so empowered. I felt so in my body. Like, we talk a lot about what our bodies look like, and there's a very westernized emphasis on what a woman's body looks like and how fit you are and all of these things. And I'm like, no one is ever allowed to say anything negative about my body, because my body carried me up a whole mountain. What you got? My body carried me up an entire mountain. My legs, my thighs, my breath, my lungs, my arms, my feet carried me up a whole mountain. No one has anything negative to say about my body. I don't receive it. I don't receive it. I feel like that was for somebody, because I didn't plan to say that. Man, oh man, oh man. It was such an amazing experience. And as we were coming down, my guide was asking me, my guide's name is Frederick, and he was like, so do you think you'll ever do it again? And I was like, no, I'm good. But now that I've been removed away from it for a couple of months, I want to do it again. Like, in my mind, I'm like, man, I missed the mountain. I want to be up there again. So who knows? I don't know when, but I might do it again. I just might do it again. All right, let's talk about these porters, okay? Because these people are literal superheroes. There is no making it to Uhuru Peak without your porters. There is no making it up the mountain and back down without your porters. So originally, I was supposed to be a part of a group. There were two other people, a couple that was going to be in the group with me. And when I got there, I found out something happened to one of them. I think they got sick or injured or something, and they decided to postpone their hike or their trek up the mountain. So it ended up being just me and my guide and all 5 of my porters, which was nice. I had a special one-on-one attention. So they carry all of your gear. Like, you have your day pack that you carry, your poles and your water for the day and some snacks and maybe like an extra jacket or whatever for the day. All the rest of your stuff, your toiletries, all your other clothes, your sleeping bag, everything else goes into a big duffel bag, into your duffel bag that you bring. And they put it with all of their stuff, and they carry it all up the mountain. So they're carrying your stuff, their personal things, all the food that you're going to eat, the tents that you are going to, all the tents that you and everybody else is, they're going to sleep in, all the cooking equipment to cook the food, just tables and chairs and everything. They are carrying everything on their heads and on their backs up the mountain. And they are moving faster than you. Because when you leave camp in the morning to go to your next camp spot or your resting spot, that's when they pack everything up and they put it on their heads and they go. And they will pass you on the trail, moving faster than you with all of this stuff They will pass you on the trail, and when you get to your next spot, they're there. Your tent is set up, your table is there, your chairs are there, everything that you need is there. They've cooked the food and it's ready to go. And you're like, how in the world are these people doing this so fast and with joy? Meanwhile, I got my little day pack and I'm like, woo, child, I'm a little bit tired. They are literal superheroes. And when I tell you there's no making it up the mountain without them, there is no making it up the mountain without them. And I'll give you the prime example. On the night when we were summiting, all of the porters didn't go. My guide, Frederick, went, and then one of the other porters went, and he carried like extra things and an oxygen tank and all of these other things. Hamis is his name. So it's me, Frederick, and Hamis, and they're going with me, and we're going up the mountain together. And when we got to the point to where I felt like I could not take another step, I tell you, Frederick was in front of me. He put his hand out. I grabbed his hand. Hamis was behind me. He put his hand in the center of my back. And when I tell you, they are pulling, Frederick is pulling, and Hamis is pushing, and I'm in the middle, being literally carried, pushed, and pulled. And whew, just the thought of that right now. That is the literal definition of support. When someone makes it their business to get you to your goal, not their goal, your goal. They've done this plenty of times before, hundreds of times even. They've gone up and down this mountain so many times. And they are there for you to help you get to your goal, which is to see Uhuru Peak. I thank God for them, because there is no way I would have made it if they had not been so encouraging and so selfless, because they're also feeling the effects of altitude. They also are like, oh, I have a little headache, or I'm a little tired, or my breath is a little short. Like they have a human body too that is feeling everything that I'm feeling. And yet they make it their business to make sure I make it. And I think about that moment often, because I'm telling you, I'm holding one person's hand in front of me and the other one has his hand in the middle of my back, and they're just going, and they're like, come on, you got it. You can do it. You got it. Singing songs, just whatever they needed to do to help me make it. They did it. That is what these porters do. They are the literal heroes of Mount Kilimanjaro. And you tip them, when it's time to tip, you tip them as well as you possibly can, because they've made it possible. We would go to our next stop, and all of the water that we had to drink was coming from fresh sources on the mountain. So there are like rivers and streams on the mountain. And so all the water that we drank came from the mountain. So they would get to the campsite, they would set up all the things, the chef would be cooking the food, and then a couple of the other porters would go back down, not all the way down, but go back down to the nearest freshwater source to fetch water, and then carry the water. Y'all know how heavy water is? Carry the water back up, so that I had water to do wash. They call it every morning we do wash. So that I had water to drink, so that I had water, so that they had water. Like, these people are superheroes. And the women, there were women porters too, and I was just astounded. And I'm telling you, everything on the head, some stuff on the back, and they're just going. I was in awe of them. I had so much respect for these people, so much respect. It is their job to get you to the top, healthy and in one piece and well fed. And that's exactly what they did. So I shout them out. They were amazing. I had such an amazing team. Let's talk about the food. Because when I did Machu Picchu, we had very light things. We ate light. We would have porridge in the morning and a little bit of fruit. For lunch and dinner, we would have a light meal. Baby, on Mount Kilimanjaro, you're not eating anything light. You are eating hearty food. And I'm talking about real food. I'm talking about every morning, like oatmeal, eggs, toast, crepes, fresh fruit, fresh pineapple, mango, watermelon. For lunch, a fresh like mixed salad or like a coleslaw type salad I had one time. One time they made me like a pizza. Just meat, like I don't know if it was chicken or if it was duck or if I don't know what it was, but it was meat and it was good. And I had stew for dinner, hearty stew with fresh vegetables. I'm having dinner. I have been fed so well. So today I asked them to give me less food because they are making these like hearty meals, and it's designed to, you know, keep you going because you're burning a lot of calories during the day, but it's so much food and I just can't finish it. I feel like I'm stuffing myself every time. So today I asked, can I have less food? Can I have a lighter dinner? So I am having chicken. There's like a chicken. I have a chicken leg with chicken stew and some rice and mango. You can see it. It's so good. I'm thankful that the food is really good and it's always like steaming hot. And then there's always hot water for tea or coffee. I'm always having tea. So, yeah. The food was so hearty, so fresh, so good. The fruit, so fresh. And then they would give me snacks. They would give me a boiled egg and an apple and biscuits and things to take, nuts and things to take with me on the trail so that I wouldn't, you know, fall out if I got hungry, you know? Like the food was just phenomenal. Like I can't say enough about the food. It was delicious. It was hearty. It was filling. It was phenomenal. It was fresh. So good. So good, so good, so good. And just FYI, this is what watermelon is supposed to look like. You see that? Those are called seeds. Fruit is supposed to have seeds, okay? All this seedless stuff y'all are eating, it's a lab experiment, okay? Eat real fruit, okay? All right, that's my public service announcement for today. The last thing I want to say is that a lot of people have asked me, how did I train or how did I prepare? Now, I went to Tanzania at the end of December. 2 months prior, I was overseas, you know, just for something different. And I was planning to be on the treadmill in my hotel or be on the stair climber in the hotel every day. Like whatever the hotel gym offered, that's what I was planning to do. Child, the hotel gyms were not great. There was no stair climber at my disposal. There was no treadmill at my disposal. So I was not able to do that kind of training, which is what I had planned to do. So I didn't really, when I tell people, I didn't really train. I mean, I'm in good shape. I work out daily. I walk a lot. I eat well. I'm strong. I'm fit. So even though I didn't get to train the way I wanted to, I wasn't concerned that it would be a problem because I'm generally fit, right? And it wasn't. It was fine. The hardest part was the altitude, and it doesn't matter how in shape you are, you can still get altitude sickness. You will still be affected by the altitude because your body is just not used to operating at that altitude. So you'll get a headache, you know, you might get nauseous. No amount of fitness is going to keep that from happening to you if there's an issue with altitude. So that's what I'll say. If you want to climb Mount Kilimanjaro, there are plenty of things you can do. They have these chambers that will kind of simulate the altitude so your body can feel what that's going to feel like. You can get on some kind of training plan. I had a training plan when I did Machu Picchu, and I think it helped. But I think if you're in If you are in generally good fitness, if you are in generally good health, you should be okay. And then you can add whatever fitness things, whatever additions you want to make to your regular, regimen, you can do that. So I didn't do really anything specific to train for Mount Kilimanjaro. Really, also, it's a mindset thing. It's about the mind. Like I told you, I felt like I wanted to quit. I felt defeated. I felt discouraged, all of the things. So it's really about what you are telling yourself in your mind. If you are convinced that you won't make it, you're gonna have a really hard time. If you are visualizing the top, and you're convinced that you're gonna get there, you're gonna get there. And that doesn't mean you won't have a discouraging moment, but if your mindset is right, you know how to get from that discouraging moment to the other side. And that's just life in general, Your mind and your body will believe whatever you tell it to believe. So make sure your mindset is right. Make sure you're in generally good health and good fitness level. Go to your doctor if you feel the need to do that, and make sure you're okay to take on the challenge, because it is a challenge. But yeah, those are the things that I did, to kind of prepare. I just did regular workouts, and worked on the mind. Yeah. So that concludes my story about Mount Kilimanjaro. I think. Because every once in a while I'll have a memory or I'll have an epiphany. And if that happens, I will probably share it. But I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it's been encouraging to you. If you want to see more pictures than the ones I shared, there are some pictures on my Instagram, and I put some of the shorts on YouTube Shorts as well. And if you have any questions, I've had plenty of people reach out to me when they see my pictures on social media and ask me questions specifically about how I prepared and my fitness level and all of that. But if you have any questions, put a message below, put a comment below, send me a DM. The company that I worked with is called Kili Africa Tours. They were amazing. I 100% recommend them. Tell them I sent you. They were awesome. They were awesome. So yeah, that's my story of Kilimanjaro. If you don't know me by now, my name is Tryphena Wade. I am an actor, Broadway actor, TV and film actor. I'm a certified life coach. I specialize in fearless living, and I am also a globe trotter. I love seeing the world. Tanzania was country number 33 for me, and in all, I've been to 34 countries. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Peace.
Wafike salama.